Hey everyone, this week I'll be doing speed paint of a screen cap from the ongoing winter anime Sk8 the Infinity. So this is the screen cap between Chetty, Joe, and Adam when they were high schoolers. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, so for this week's video I used the setup that I used last week for the Autodesk Sketchbook tutorial so you could see what I'm actually doing, like from my perspective, and not just a speed paint from the application. So before I used the wrong brush or pencil because I'm not used to doing sketches on this application. I usually do them on Autodesk Sketchbook, and lately I've been kind of lazy for line art, so I've just been doing cleaner sketches to line my work and practice my coloring. Yeah, so this week was just this week was just full of pain and in the series. It was good. Don't get me wrong. It was amazing. It was just pain after pain after pain. Like Adam used to be such a good kid. What the hell happened? Like, I just want to say to all my Sk8 the Infinity fandom watcher people, Hideki deserves so much more love and attention. Like, if you think about it, we haven't seen him skate in so long. Like, it's just been manga this whole time. Could be me being biased because Hideki is my favorite character. Alright, so I blocked in some base colors here, and I'll begin to work on the shading as you guys can see. So what I do for my shading process is I duplicate the base layer that I previously did. I hide the older layer and I alpha lock this new layer so that when I do these shadows or highlights, the brush won't go outside this blocked area. And this alpha lock is a tool on the layers that I really like to use. So for my shading, I usually like to use an airbrush tool. It has a softer texture, and because you can change the opacity for many brushes, but I like it best on this brush. I hope that makes sense. So what I usually do is I pick the color, the base color that I'm going to use shadows on, for example. I'll pick a warmer color, and then I'll go to the right and to the left to make things darker, and yeah, I'll just lightly brush it in with the airbrush. After that, if I want to make the shadows a bit darker, I do a similar thing, except I go furthermore to the warmer colors and a little bit darker just so you can see the shadows better or where it would be darker. And for hair, I'm not really sure how exactly to color hair at the moment. I just do some darken the tips a bit as well as the darker parts that we couldn't see on the reference photo, and just adding some highlights. So there's not really any like fine detail in the hair here, but it does look alright after, so I'm happy about that. Yeah, so I kind of do the same thing for everyone's hair. Adam doesn't have much hair in this piece, so it's mostly just shadow from his hood. And so over here I'm just picking some colors for the shadows for their uniform. So Joe and Chetty went to the same high school, so they have the same colors on the uniform, which was really convenient for this piece. So similar thing that I do with the shading on the skin, I go over the parts that I believe would be darker, and if I think they need to be even darker to show more contrast, then I go over with a darker color with the airbrush after. And for Adam, because he went to a different school, the colors are a bit different, so I went to go pick a different color there for his shadows. Alright, so here you can see me doing those darker shadows that I talked about. So as we can see here on Chetty's face, I'm just going over where the shadows would be more prominent because there's something blocking it. And previously I was doing a shadow from Adam's hood because it would be like in front of Chetty's face for this part. adding some more details to the hair. Once again, some darker parts and some parts that will kind of give the hair a more textured feeling to it, so it's not just like a flat 2D object that we're looking at, so it seems to have more strands, for example. And here I'm going over just the little like scratch marks that they get, or like I'm not really sure what they call it, but like because they were known as like skateboarding delinquents, they got into some fights or scratches from when they fell. So I didn't really want to add that in as like an airbrush color, but I wanted it more to stand out. So if I was gonna do the line art, it would have been part of the line art. So I just went over it with a darker burgundy kind of color with the thick pencil. And so I hope you guys liked this piece. I did. I wasn't painting the whole time. I was looking at my screen cap photo for reference. I mean, I hope the relationship gets better between the three of them, but I doubt that's gonna happen anytime soon. But at least Reki, man, I hope someone gives Reki a hug because he deserves it the most in this whole wide world. Yeah, so I believe this week is actually a recap episode, so just more pain, but I'm still gonna go and watch it. Yeah, so thank you everyone for sticking around to the end, and I hope you guys have a good week.